Hello everybody, Slick Phoenix here. I am doing this video to instruct you on how to use my Advent Calculator sheet. I know it can be a bit confusing and there's just a lot of data and a lot of things to input, so I'm hoping that by making this video I can make it easier for you to use and understand it and be more effective in your Advent runs and farming and such. So let's get started here. First off, let me go with my suggestion up here to download it to your own Google Drive. You can simply just go into File and make a copy, and it will allow you to copy it into your own Google Drive. You can also go to Download As, and it will download into many different file types, Excel if you have Excel. Then lastly, one of the things I like about Google Sheets is you can go down here to Spreadsheet Settings and set the time zone for the spreadsheet. I have it set to Pacific time since that is the same time that the game server is on. So that way, anything in the game, when you have those banners that tell you when something starts and ends, you can input those times on one of the next sheets just as they are there without having to do any time conversions or anything like that, and you'll be good. Whereas if you download it onto your local machine, then it's going to use your local time, and then you have to do time conversion and all that. So let's get started here. This is the quick view page. This is a page meant to just quickly view where you're at and what you have left to do. So you can put in here your collected materials, what you've collected so far of each of the 4 materials, and these are in order from left to right as they show on the screen in the game. Half elixirs used, you can input how many half elixirs you've used so far. It doesn't mess with any of the other formulas, so it's not really needed, but it's just a way for you to see how much you've used compared to what was estimated you'd need and see how you did. These little boxes here with the triangles, these all have pop-ups that give instructions on how to use it, and I've done that on the other page as well. So let's go over to the other page. I mean, these are just calculations pulled from the other page. So let's get over there, analysis page. This is where everything happens for the most part. Here in the top left, these are all the inputs for the material, for the items that you want to get during the event. The Eidolon weapons, each of the SR weapons, soul points, etc. And again, in this little black corner, there's the drop down telling you how to do this. Now, for each of these, you want to set your goal. So things that you absolutely want to make sure that you get, you want to set as primary. The ones that you're like, I want to get them, but I can do without them if I don't need them, you can set those as secondary and then blank anything else you don't want. From here, these drop downs, no, and obviously means you don't have them, yes means you got them, so anytime you exchange from the shop, from the event shop, you mark it as yes, you go from left to right, and it'll change some of the numbers down here in those bottom 2 right sections. And then anytime you get one of those rainbow or platinum drops, I like to call them platinum drops, you go from right to left, because if you get the Eidolon to drop for you, then you only have to purchase the first 4, and then the 5th one you don't because you got it dropped. So the first drops of anything really save you the most materials. See, so ideally you wouldn't want 2 of the Eidolon, you'd want 1 of the Eidolon, 1 of the weapon, or 1 of each of the weapons that you want to really maximize your savings on materials. Alright, going down from there, let's see, the soul points, again, how many times you've redeemed it. You can only redeem the first one 10 times, which gives you 100 soul points. HE's pretty explanatory, 20. You can do 20. Now, in the event that we hit one of those advents that they do the 2 per day again, then you don't need to mark anything on here, you can just take it off. You can leave it blank because it won't be part of it since you're getting 2 every single day. Now, various user inputs. This one right here, the collected materials. Again, this is going to be copying from the front page, the quick view page, so you don't need to do anything with that. Your estimated materials per run, I left this available for you to edit. in case you want to use your own numbers. Right now I only have numbers set for ultimate difficulty, so if you're running one of the other ones and you have an idea of what the averages are, you can input those and it will calculate everything for you. These numbers are rounded down from what a bunch of other users had collected data from, so it actually estimates on the high side as far as how many HEs you need. I usually come in underneath it, especially when I factor in my platinum drops. This one you need to set your difficulty, so I have the 4 difficulties here. I didn't do Ragnarok difficulty because that one, who really uses Snatch or anything like that, and you can only do it 1 per day, so it's not really one that you farm. The only thing you're after there is the cores, and it gives you a chance for platinum drop and just a few other materials. So you can put in the 4 different difficulties: Ultimate, Expert, Standard, Beginner, and then down here the AP cost version. And especially in the reprints, the dual advent reprints, they will discount the cost of the AP. So you've got your standard cost and your discounted cost. You'll see when you select discount, it drops the AP cost to 30, because Ultimate usually costs 30 in those discounted versions. Down here, you want to input the event start and end. It ends at the end of maintenance usually for Kiyuki. In this case, they had 3 hours of maintenance. It was back up at 2300, and it's going to end at 20 on 1/30/18. Sleep hours, you can input how many hours you sleep. You can also use this if you go to work and don't have a chance to play at all when you're at work. You can also add your work hours to that. Current AP, you just put in what your current AP is, and then everything else will calculate from here. Now, this just kind of shows how many total hours are in the event and how much AP that means for you. This factors in your sleep. And then this is the now function, which tells you exactly how much is remaining, how many times you're sleeping, and then, again, how many remaining runs you have with and without sleep. Alright, so going over here to the overview analysis. What this section is, this top right section, is kind of looking at the beginning of the event. You're coming into the event, it's starting, alright, you've selected what your goals are. Here's how many materials you're going to collect with your AP over the course of the event, just with off natural regen. And then these are the materials needed to get anything you selected as P primary over here. Now this will then take a look and compare these two, tell you what the difference is. If it's positive, then you still need to collect. Well, if it's positive, then you've gone over it, and if it's negative, then you have some left to collect, and you're going to need additional runs. And this calculates how many additional runs, and then this calculates how much HE you needed to make those runs. And then the same thing goes here on the secondary mats. It does the same thing, except it adds your primary to the ones you make secondary to get your total materials needed here, and then it gives the difference and all that. And you'll notice on this one there really isn't a difference, because right here where it says additional runs needed 52 and 52, it didn't need any additional gold materials, and then these numbers didn't get enough to go over needing 52 runs. So you can get all your secondaries while you're getting your primary on the gold mats. So that'll all be good. Mid-Advent analysis. So what this is a snapshot of where you are at that moment. So it looks at your collected materials over here that you input from the first page, and it tells you how many materials you have left remaining, and then how many remaining battles you have to get those. And then it takes that highest number of those, since 138, that's how many runs you're going to need, and says, alright, do all 138, here's how many materials you're going to have at the end. And again, this looks at the same thing, but with secondary, so you're going to get the same answer. Now this one, the forecasting, kind of takes this mid-event analysis where you're at right now, and then it looks into the future on what it's going to take to get you to those goals. So down here, the difference in the primary remaining, negative number, what it does, it looks at where you're at right now, and then how many materials you have left to get from your AP regen, and takes the difference of those and says, alright, this is how much you have left after AP regen that you need to work at. Here's how many runs that you need, and then here's how many half elixirs you need to make all those runs. And same with the secondary. Now, something of note is this line and this line can also be used when you get to the end, and if they do have those half elixirs over here that are going to be 2 per day, they generally keep the shop open for 30 days, maybe sometimes longer, but if you want to estimate 30 extra days, then you let these numbers up here equal a positive 180, which means you have enough materials at the end left over to get 30 days of half elixirs. This third sheet down here, material cost tables, nothing for you to do there. That's just the material cost tables of the cost of all the things in the shop, used to make all this calculation over here in the analysis page. Instructions, these were created when I first made this sheet. I've since created those little notes on the triangles, so it's not really a relevant page anymore. Could probably just delete it, but thought I'd leave it there in case anyone wants to read those instructions. So that is how you use this Advent calculator. I hope it makes your Advents more rewarding for you. Hopefully you don't have to try as hard, and that you can just be a little bit more relaxed and not waste as many half elixirs. The reason I created this was because of that change to only 20 half elixirs. I wanted to figure out how I could effectively get what I want and use as little half elixirs as possible and waste as little materials as possible. So that's what caused me to create this. And now I can just casually run this. I know what I need to do. I can average how many half elixirs I want to use per day, and I don't have to go all crazy. Or if I know that I'm going to be going on vacation or have something coming up and I can't make it, then I know what I need to do to get to where I want to get to. So yes, I hope this calculator makes your farming that much more effective and the game more enjoyable for you. So until next time, happy hunting!